Welcome to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. What is a hot take, you may ask? Well, it's where we sit down in the basement and we give our thoughts, give our opinions on a movie, a game, or TV show. Today, it's going to be a movie, and that movie is Bright. Here to discuss with me, my co-host, Chris Trio.
How's everyone doing? It's a very solid intro. I just want to say that. We
Yeah,
don't
it was
usually
good.
get that really first on, but it was really good. So
You know, there was no pressure.
None at all.
No
You
pressure.
just ran right into it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, we decided this is the first, I guess, Netflix movie or movie that isn't in theaters.
Yeah, that we're reviewing.
Yeah.
So we're doing Bright today.
Which is a Netflix exclusive film by David Ayer, director of the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
That's not a fake statement either.
Yeah,
that's
it's
real.
not. I love. That's so
That's
funny.
funny, yeah.
That's so funny to say.
Their costumes are great, but yeah. So David Ayer. This looked really interesting to me. I gotta admit, they've been pumping advertising
just
stuff
recently.
into this.
Yeah, like right as it came out, like I started seeing a bunch of ads.
Like I saw a commercial on TV for that.
Yeah,
like that's insane. I feel like for a Netflix
movie.
Original,
Yeah, like even like Stranger Things season 2 got a lot of advertisement.
Definitely
on regular cable stuff.
And they're even doing like all this what's the word for it? Like it's supposed to be pictured as real life advertisement. So I saw this thing today. It was like Joe Rogan and like another UFC guy, and it was talking about the first orc UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And it does like this.
Well, there's a Joe Rogan podcast in the movie.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
You see, and I really like the way that they played on a lot of stuff. But we'll get into it. Advertising, I got to say, they did a really cool job with though.
Yeah, so we first started seeing like maybe about a year ago at a Comic-Con or some shit.
Like we got the first teaser trailer.
Yeah, and it seemed cool. I wasn't
Definitely interesting idea.
I wasn't like too hype on this movie until I like actually just sat down and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, David Ayer brings back Will Smith as our main antagonist. What's his name again?
God, what's his name? His main protagonist.
Yeah, protagonist.
God, I know Jacoby's the other guy. What's his name?
Daryl?
It might be. I'll do some research.
Yeah. And then we have Joel Egerton as our orc cop.
Nick
Jacoby.
Yeah. One thing I was worried going into this movie about was the prosthetics all over his face and if he was going to be able to emote through it, Joel Egerton.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way that the orcs looked. I think everything was like pretty solid, like with the... What?
I was going to look it up.
Go ahead.
All right. But, I agree. The whole set design and everything...
Yeah, like we only see elves and orcs, and the fairy is probably CGI. There's like
even the fairy looked really. I gotta give it to him. It looked good. Like I was looking at the CGI.
So the world idea of Bright is it's basically like our world, but with
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, like so
with like Lord of the Rings. Like the orcs fought like the 9 races in a war long ago,
like 2,000 years ago.
Yeah,
and then
now the orcs are good and.
Scott Ward is his name. Sorry.
What?
It's Will Smith's character name. Scott Ward.
Is it Scott?
Yeah.
Who's Daryl?
He's Detective Ward. I don't think they ever say Scott, honestly, if I'm going to be...
Who's Daryl? There's a Daryl in that movie.
Doug...
Maybe
nope.
not.
Let's see.
Scott Ward. Yeah. Okay. But the movie is like the world is like the integration of like fantasy with the modern. And that's something that's like pretty original. I think the only thing to do that is like Wolf Among Us, but Wolf Among Us doesn't really do it.
They're more hidden, yeah.
Whereas like the fable creatures are hiding in New York. They're not like out in plain sight.
Exactly.
Like,
they live in Fabletown.
This is a situation where like
everyone knows magic.
Elves, dwarves,
there's all
fairies, magic. They exist in the world, and everyone.
But it's like present day. It's contemporary. Where is it? Is it New York?
No, LA.
Where is it? LA. That's right. It is LA.
And then being present day, being modern, like a lot of the themes of the movie are about like prejudice
and prejudice. Yeah, and I really think this is a really cool way to frame all that stuff. And the fact, obviously, we're two white guys. We don't have to deal with like maybe there's no prejudice or whatever for us, but it's cool to see them shine this in a different light rather than it's just races. And I think they do it pretty effectively.
Yeah,
especially
like real.
Yeah. And I even like, and it's messed up like the way that they're treating, and it makes sense because like the one guy's talking to Ward, and he's like, "Dude, we got to get Jacoby out of here. Like my ancestors fought him in the wars," and I'm like, "This is like interesting." It's
that
cool,
guy was
like,
in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he's in like a lot of David Ayer movies. There's a cool backstory to it if you really kind of look into it, but I mean they don't force feed you like the background.
They give you enough for you to like understand it.
I think
like,
so. Yeah.
And it really happens within like the first like 30 minutes of the movie, especially within the opening credits, like they do this like cool like graffiti thing, and it's kind of like the graffiti is like explaining the world a little bit. You get like a good enough of an idea to be like set into the movie.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, and you see like certain stuff, like you hear about like the Dark Lord and stuff throughout, but you don't really know. The one thing I do,
he's like a MacGuffin, if anything.
A little bit, yeah. And that's the one thing I will maybe say bad about this movie is that I do kind of wish I knew more about the background of the world going into it.
I feel like that's a tough. It's a nitpick, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I mean,
I would like to see more from this world.
Exactly, it's already getting a sequel.
Yeah,
right. So we're definitely getting more. And I did actually see this video that they put up on their Facebook page that like explains the war that they had 2,000 years ago and why everyone's living in peace. And apparently, like an orc rose up and became the first bright and touched a wand and was able to defeat the Dark Lord or something. It's a cool, like, interesting backstory, and I can tell that they're leaning very heavily into like Tolkien-esque stuff, like very nodding to that.
Yeah, and one of the things, like, I think there's a real lack of like dark. You know the difference between dark and high fantasy?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's like a
high fantasy's like Witcher, right?
No, or like, dark fantasy's like Witcher. Okay. High fantasy's more like, I guess, Dragon Age in a way, where like everything is kind of like sunshine and rainbows until like you go on the quest, and then like that's when like the dark shit comes out, but like everything else is like
it's pretty like it's happy fairy tale.
Like Witcher is like everything's shit like 24/7, and like everything's out to get you, and it's dark, and the tones. Like World of Warcraft's kind of high fantasy, but like it kind of like delves into both. I'm not sure like the exact guidelines.
Totally,
whatever. But I think there's a distinct lack of dark and high fantasy within movies, games. Like
100%.
Like if you can name me a fantasy series that isn't Lord of the Rings that's like that established, like you really can't.
And it is tough to do. It's a market that you don't know. You need to hit it right. And I mean, we saw what was the last like major? I'd say like Warcraft, right? Wasn't that would that be like the last big fantasy movie?
And that's why I really enjoyed that movie.
I actually saw it too. I love the magic.
It's good. Movie. Yeah, it's good. Cool. And but again, like I liked it because like you don't see a lot of those, and that's like. My favorite kind of RPGs are the Dragon Ages, the Witchers, where it's like swords and magic and like different races and like monsters and stuff like that. Like that's what I really like, and
it's cool.
Yeah. And that's kind of where Bright kind of like combines two genres and makes something cool that's different that you really don't see anywhere else, especially in movies.
It is,
but it is, mind you, a David Ayer buddy cop.
100%.
What is it called when the two cops don't like each other? I was like using like
there's a name for it, but I don't know.
Because, like, he did direct Training Day and, like, End of Watch. He is famous for those. Like, okay, David Ayer could have made, like, a regular buddy cop movie on Netflix, but he didn't, and he decided to do something different.
And it went super well, in my opinion. And I liked, like, it's not even, like, Ward doesn't hate Jacoby. He just hates the fact that he's dealing with, like, he has the first orc cop in his car. He has the whole eyes of the world on him. He just doesn't want to deal with it. And you even see him talking to, like, the other guys, they're like, we got to get him out of here. No orcs, we can't do this. He's like, guys, let's just get along to get along. Like, what's the big deal? Like,
but he's not saying it that nice. Like, he just doesn't, he really doesn't give a shit that he's an orc, but, like, he just doesn't want...
It's causing him headaches that he doesn't feel like he needs. I mean,
like, he's not racist to a point.
I wouldn't even see it. He's just like...
He can be, but he's really not. The other guys are kind of more racist than he is.
I agree. I think at the end of the day, he's just like, I don't want to deal with all this hullabaloo bullshit. And I mean, he did get shot point blank with a shotgun by an orc, too, at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And that part didn't make much sense to me because he's like, why didn't you have my bag, man? I'm like, dude, he fucking walked up in front of you with a shotgun. How was that on him to watch your back?
Yeah, he's
getting you some food.
A burrito.
He's being a good partner. But yeah, Joel Edgerton, like I said before, I think he did a really good job.
If you didn't know that was him, you wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Like you said, orc makeup's all good. So the whole story of this is that they're trying to find a magic wand. Right?
Well, it's kind of like the first after he gets shot. It's the first day back on the streets, back on patrol.
Yep, they get a call to a spot.
Yeah, and it's like
pops off from there.
Yeah, like the whole movie takes place within one night, and it's like, you know, the snowball of problems just keeps rolling and getting bigger and bigger.
They find a wand, and then they kind of explain. So, what kind of confused me with this is that people know magic wands exist, right? Like the regular public. So by the end of the movie, only Brights can hold a wand. Everyone else, you pop, you blow up if you touch it. And by the end of this movie, they're talking to the guy, the FBI basically of magic, and he's saying there is no wand, there was never a wand, blah blah blah. Like, so I didn't know that. I didn't know if I should take that as like, are wands like conspiracy theories now? Like, do that they even exist
I think it was
anymore?
just like imagine a wand is like a WMD.
Yeah.
And like they just want to keep it on the hush.
They don't even want anyone to know it was even around. Gotcha.
Yeah. That's what I took it. Yeah, like
because
he's telling the whole story, and he's like, dude, and he's like, shut up, like at the end, and then the elf, like what are they called, like the Magic Bureau? Or
I can't.
Like
yeah, it's the FBI of magic.
Yeah, and he's like. And
he's like, good.
And and then he's like, he says,
it's like, Lord, what happened? He's like, nothing. There was no wand. There was none of this. And he's like,
yeah,
cool. And then that was it. And by the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure they showed this in the trailer, which was done by them, but I could have called it. Was Ward being a bright? He can hold the wand. He can use it. And I'm 99% sure in the trailer you see Will Smith pick up the wand. And I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But only 1 in a million, they said, like, humans can be brights. Was the idea. And then they're like a lot more elves.
They say it like
brights.
in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like when they're interrogating some crazy dude who's with the freedom something.
Yeah, he was with the shield of something. He had like a sword and he was just
shield
going
of light, maybe.
I think that's definitely it. But I didn't know how I felt about the whole thing of like, the one guy's like, well, we can take the wand. Like, fuck him. We'll kill the orc. We'll kill Jacoby. We'll kill Ward. But I'm like, do you not know that there's a very extremely high chance that when you pick that up, you're all just gonna die?
Well,
I guess you just got to take that chance. Is the idea?
Yeah.
Or they don't know that.
I don't know. I mean, like, I can understand like if any situation like even though like something might be like harmful to you and you know it's like powerful, you're still probably gonna try to like
why not? Yeah.
Pick it up or like use it for your own good.
See what happens. Even if there is a chance that you are bright.
Yeah.
No, I really thought there were some amazing action scenes in this. I think that's one thing David Ayer does.
It was action packed,
visceral,
and it was very violent. I think it's rated R, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they say the N word a lot.
See, that's what I felt like he said that. I heard another review saying that they were like, "Oh, it just pops off with N words at the beginning." I was like, I feel like I didn't hear that much. There was definitely one at the beginning when he's talking to Will Smith outside, but yeah, I thought it was like a very cool integration of all this magical stuff into present day society. Like the first scene, you see him beating up they're like, go take care of that fairy out in the bird feeder, like it's a squirrel.
Yeah,
and he just goes kill it. What else did you like? I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you're cool. I like the effects of like when they go into the house or like the shield of light like lodge and there's that elf. Oh my
dude,
god,
that was really cool.
That was really cool. There were a lot of just like cool effects. I like the way the elves look. I like in a fantasy genre movie game, whatever. Like the orcs are the low class, the humans are the middle, the elves are the highest. Well, sometimes in other lores, the elves can be like lower or middle, but they're high class. Like they go into like Elf Town, and it's all they're all rich and like it's like the rich district of the city. And
just like all elves, they're all driving like Maseratis and like Lamborghinis.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And it's cool.
It's a nice like social commentary that I don't think is like
it's so in your face, but yeah, exactly.
It's not doing anything crazy. It's just like
it's just saying this
playing on tropes of like real life and
exactly. And the elves, it's funny, we don't get a ton. We see the bad people are the elves. Who's Naomi Rapace? What's her name? She was in Alien. She plays the bad elf, like the main one. And I love her. I think she's awesome. She doesn't really do much, if I'm going to be honest. That's the one. The villains in this, you're like, okay, they're just, at the end of the day, they're just trying to get the wand.
Kill some people in like cool ways, and that's about it. But like, I don't know, like...
And that's all I'm not looking for anything.
I wasn't looking like too hard in this movie for that kind of shit. Like if you were really gonna like, a lot of critics gave this movie like some bad reviews. I'm like, what the
seriously
fuck
harsh
were you
stuff.
expecting?
Yeah, I was like, were you guys expecting this mythical
like do you go into every movie and expect it to be like fucking like Lord of the Rings, like or like some like I don't know like The Departed or some like great fucking movie? Like, are you kidding me? Like, who cares?
Like it was an enjoyable, fun ride.
I had a lot of fun with it. Like it was like
when I was done on Netflix.
Yeah, when I was done with it, I was like, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like I really enjoyed it. It's definitely like one of my favorite movies of the year. Like with Blade Runner,
especially like even like if you have Netflix, like watch this. Even if you
it's
just
like
give
2
it
hours.
like 10 minutes
like
and you're like, I don't like it. You wasted 10 minutes. But if you watch 10 minutes and you like it, finish that shit up. It's good. I really liked it. David Ayer, we were talking about, he tweeted something. He's like, the movie review. This is the worst movie. This is the worst movie of 2017, guys. the Transformers came out this year, so let's all relax.
Sure, nobody talks about that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, like all the acting is really good from everyone. I think Will Smith does like a Will Smith job, and like he's awesome. He's been in this kind of role before. It's nothing new for him. No, it's nothing. It's not a crazy role. He does a good job.
Nothing crazy new, but I mean, he's Will Smith. He delivers when he needs to.
Yeah,
and I do like the interactions with Jacoby and Ward. By the end of the movie, I feel like they really kind of mesh together, and I'm actually excited to see. Yeah.
I liked both their characters a lot.
I did too.
Sometimes Will Smith or Ward was kind of a piece of shit, but like
totally,
I think Jacoby's pretty likable. Like I don't really see like a reason why to not like him.
Totally, and I mean even like
because he's really not an asshole ever. Like he never shows like any like negative qualities.
He's just kind of that guy trying to be a good partner in a way. Like I don't know, he's cool. Cop, That's exactly. And I think it's interesting because this is a guy. He's like humans hate him and orcs hate him. Like he's not accepted by his own kind even in a lot of the movie. He's not blooded.
They hit that like a few times. Yeah, and they let you know like the orcs don't even like him.
Yeah, so like you almost feel even worse for him because it's like all right, he doesn't even have orcs to hang out with. And humans hate him too. And I like his whole arc. He's that kid who's wanted to be a cop his whole life, and he was the first orc cop. I thought it was cool. There was one thing I didn't think that was very realistic of like how the other people were treating him to a point. I guess the whole thing is that they are supposed to have some really bad blood, but like the way that they are totally shitting on him. Like it's not like the whole police like the crew.
The entire force.
Yeah, it's like fuck. Even like the chick like laughs at him as she goes by. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is so messed up.
Yeah, with the kick me sign on the back. It is a little overplayed, but I feel like that's there to
drive the point home. Yeah, I hear you.
Nothing else I really want to hit on. I'm trying to think. We didn't talk about that elf girl.
Oh yeah, so she's like. Apparently, she was a traitor from like. So they need three wands and 3 brights to bring back the Dark Lord. Apparently, that's like I assume what they were trying to go for, and like the bad chick sends her other girl after the one that ends up being the traitor, and then she gets the wand, and that's how she gets blasted into the wall. That scene was cool when you actually see her get like.
Yeah, and some of the effects are really cool,
especially for a Netflix movie. I think they really.
I feel like you're downplaying Netflix a little bit. Like,
no, I am because I don't think it's as like. This has really showed me that like
we see some pretty heavy duty like series coming from Netflix.
100%, but like now I think this movie shows just budget wise, effects wise, and everything that they're not afraid to play serious hardball. And I know they weren't that afraid
with
before.
Their movies.
Yeah, but like
their series are like we've had. House of Cards, Stranger Things.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
They've all been doing other great. Netflix exclusive stuff, but like those 2 series are like one of the the big ones, the big money drivers. Yeah. Well, House of Cards not anymore, but
like I said, production.
We forgot to say awesome. This was written by Max Landis.
Oh, that's right. So there's been a big controversy around him.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
So he's been off Twitter.
He's been Twitter dark since like before Christmas.
So apparently, he
got pegged for.
He got accused of sexual assault, and so I don't know the exact.
With the movie coming out,
like literally right as it's coming out, yeah, because I think the girl tweeted like, Netflix shouldn't be promoting like a sexual predators movie, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. I'm not here to pass judgments. I thought the movie, what he wrote, was fine, but at the end of the day, don't be a jerk off. I don't know. Like, I just don't. What are guys? Yeah,
dude, it's pretty funny. Like this whole situation. I'm like he's been around like doing things for a while, and like I'm like he gets called out now.
That's no, but that's
I was like he's not like a big name. Like,
no, it's interesting, and like I don't know. We got to see how it turns out, but
we'll see.
Yeah,
he's been Twitter dark for a while. Which I assume just means he's...
And I mean, I was a fan of... We saw him at Comic-Con, so that does...
We walked past Max Landis and didn't even fucking know it.
Well, no, he was in the bathroom. He walks out. And I'm like, Gooch, that was Max Landis. And you're like, what?
What? Yeah.
It's like, that was Max Landis. But yeah, that always sucks. We'll see if he comes back anytime soon. But...
But, we're going to be getting a sequel for this movie to some degree. I would love to see this world expanded.
100%.
Go watch it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, even if it doesn't follow, like... Ward and Jacoby, which it will, I think. But like, I wouldn't even care seeing like a different sect of that universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be them. Yeah. But I think that about covers us,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for watching this Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Delco Nerd Network, on the Twitter and the Gram at Delco Nerds, youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy.